What up, YouTube? It's your boy Marvel of a Matter, back with another video, and today I'll be reacting to this video that my boy sent me. He asked me, is this girl capping in the video about what she said, right? She said some things that a lot of people might disagree with, so let's check the video out and see what y'all think, what we think. I'm gonna break it down.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
Do you have a car?
Yes, I do.
Would you date a man who didn't have one?
Absolutely. Who gives a fuck about any of that shit? Genuinely, who gives a fuck? No one gives a fuck what you drive. No one gives a fuck what you wear. If you're a good person and if you're the right fucking dude, you'll find the right fucking guy. I mean women.
Hold on. So if you met a man out here and then he told you, yo, I don't have a whip, you'd still want to take it further?
I say you need a ride to the airport? I got you.
You pick him up for the first date too?
Of course.
If I made 50K, would that be enough for you?
No girl that actually gives a shit, gives a fuck about how much you make a year.
So why do so many women make money the main point?
Because they're not the one. Your wife doesn't give a shit about how much you make a year, let me tell you.
So you think you're wifey?
I'm wifey for the right man, but honestly, to all you single men out there, if you're tripping about how much you make, don't worry about it, because the right girl is not going to give a shit because she's going to like you because you're an awesome person.
All right, so as y'all can see, she is a little bit, tipsy, a little drunk, actually. So we'll take what she's saying with a grain of salt. Although they do say when you're drunk, you tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and you just let out all the secrets and whatever. And to be honest, I don't know what that was. And to be honest, I agree with that statement in this case. I think she is telling the absolute truth. She's saying that if a girl really likes you, if a girl's really interested in you, if she really sees you as that guy for whatever reason, then all the extras don't really matter, right? All the things around you don't matter. And to an extent, right, that is true. And I think that as a society, we have this idea that, as men, we have this idea that you have to have all these certain check boxes, all these certain boxes checked in order for a girl to think, you're worthy of her, or to think that, she wants to talk to you, or if another guy has these boxes checked, then he's better than you. So, she'll want him more than you. And I think, right, this is something that I've said before along these same lines, is that the problem is men are so used to dealing with women that don't really like them that they think that stuff matters more than it does. Because in a case where the woman doesn't like you, like she said, that stuff does matter, right? And I mentioned it in my video about women should be the ones to pursue. Men just don't want to deal with the women that like them a lot of times, because for a lot of men, right, the women that they could get that really like them are not the women that they want. Women are hypergamous, right? But they're not necessarily just hypergamous for money, for all these other things. They are, genetically hypergamous, right? So if they see you as finer than them, or better looking than them, or sexier than them, or whatever it is, they're gonna like you as well, right? Or if there's just something about your personality, something about you as an individual that they think is just better than them, without all the extra stuff, without the money, the status, all that stuff. And they just see you and they're like, damn, like, I like the way he thinks, I like the way he moves, I like the way he looks, right? All that stuff, the stuff that just you carry with yourself everywhere you go, regardless of your worldly, possessions. If she sees that and she thinks that is something to look up to, she thinks you're someone to look up to in a regard like that, then you don't need that other stuff. And like I said, the problem is guys just don't want to deal with the women that see them like that. So because we so frequently want to go after the beautiful woman, regardless of what we look like, regardless of how we are, regardless of our confidence level, regardless of any of that stuff, we see these girls that look a certain way and we're like, this is who we want. But they're not seeing you like that. They're not seeing you as him. So then when you try to deal with her, you do have to leverage these other things in order for her to think, okay, he's worth dealing with if he does this, and this. But guys who have dealt with women that really saw them first and was like, dang, I want to be with him, I like him, because women do that. They feel that way. We make it seem like they don't feel that way, but from the bottom girl to the finest girl, they see a guy and they're like, damn, I want him. We're all humans. We all feel the same thing, right? They feel it for less women. I mean, they feel it for less men than we do for women. Even if, if you have a guy who's really attractive and a girl who's really attractive, women are just more selective, so they're going to see it for less men. But when they see that man that they really want, will let it be known. It will be easy for him, and he doesn't need to have all the extra stuff for her to want to deal with him, right? And guys, like I said, guys who guys who have dealt with women who really just mess with them, know that you don't have to have anything. You don't have to have money. You don't have to have a car. You don't have, like she said, if you don't have a car, you just end up driving your girl's car. You don't have money, she just ends up paying for stuff for you, right? If you don't, whatever you don't have, if she has it, she gonna give it to you because she just messes with you. She really likes you. She really want to be with you. She wants it to work, so she's gonna contribute to make it work. But because guys so infrequently deal with that, we think the way a woman acts when she doesn't like you is just the standard way of how a woman acts. But that is not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. Some women, are programmed a little bit more so. Like if from birth, from being a little girl, they were told, hey, only deal with men who do this, only deal with men who do this. And it was like drilled into their head. Then their social mind is going to make them move like that. But even still, biologically, they can't help it. They're going to be attracted to the men that they're attracted to for the foundational reasons of like physical attraction, the way his energy is, right? The way he thinks, the way he moves. Like they're going to be attracted to that and they can't help it. And that's just what it is. So, like I said, a lot of guys though, you're not going to get a 7 because you're not a 7. You know what I mean? And not in the sense of just looks, but like overall, you're not going to get a girl that, you might see and think, wow, this is an attractive girl, but you're just not there. So like I said, a lot of guys will go after those women. And yes, you have to compensate in that situation. And if you're cool with that, you're cool with that. But if you deal with women, or if you elevate yourself, your attractiveness, your mindset, your energy, if you improve that, you'll improve the women that you can actually attract, because you should be attracting the women. You shouldn't be trying to convince, trying to leverage, trying to coax, you know what I'm saying? Trying to use these things to incentivize her to want to be with you. If you have to do that, she doesn't like you. And long term, it's just like, I guess you'll have her presence there, her physical presence there, but she won't really mess with you. She won't really be attracted to you. She's probably going to cheat on you, because they're not just going to be with a guy that they're unhappy with. They don't deal with unhappiness like that. They're not just going to be with you and act like, they're fine. They're going to see some other dude on the side that they like, that they're really into, and mess with him. And if you cool with that, some guys are cool with that. Some guys understand what I'm saying, and they just choose to deal with women because they're like, well, if I'm going to deal with a woman, I just want her to be beautiful. So whatever the circumstances are, I just want to deal with a beautiful woman. If that's the case, okay, cool. But know that that's not necessary. You don't have to have those things. Is it good for you to have those things for yourself? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. You want to have money. You want to have, status if you can, because that's power in the world, right? You want to have some type of, protection in the world, because that's what all that stuff is. Protection for you and leverage to get things. But if you have to leverage it to get your girl, she just don't mess with you, like the girl said. So I think absolutely what she's saying is true in this video. And if anybody has any arguments against that, please put them in the comments. But I truly believe, and guys, like I said, who know, right? Because women complain about, damn, he got no money, he got no this, he got no that. That's why they're screaming all that stuff, because they're dealing with guys who don't have this stuff, but they cannot help it. They'll be like, they'll come up with these boundaries, these standards, because they've already been dealing with guys who did not have these things. And then it didn't work out, and they're complaining that these were problems. But when they were with the guy, it was just what it was. It wasn't a problem. When the guy didn't have a car, they had no problem letting the guy use their car. When the guy didn't have money, they had no problem, paying for whatever they needed, covering him, right? Within reason, right? If you're just a bum, eventually, yeah, that's going to be unattractive. And when you first meet a girl, that shouldn't be the thing that sparks it. That should not be the thing that sparks it. And if you're an attractive guy to her, if she sees you as him, then that will not be the case, right? So I mean, I advise guys to deal with girls in their lane, right? Deal with girls in your lane. You know, unless you don't care, unless your ego is just like, I don't care if this girl really likes me or not. As long as I get the opportunity to be with her, then cool. But to me, that's like pimping yourself out, right? That's like, you know, selling yourself short. That's giving you, like, you know, you're putting yourself in a position where you have to like try to get this girl. You have to try to beg her like she's better than you, right? And to me, I just don't recommend that. I don't think that's healthy for self-esteem. I don't think, you know, when you come home and you see your girl and you know that that's the case, I don't think that's gonna feel good, right? I've never been in that position, so I don't know exactly for sure, but I can imagine that I wouldn't feel great about being in that situation. And you just put more pressure on yourself because you think that, oh, I have to do these things. And it's good to have that. It's good to have some pressure, like I said, to do those things because they're good for you. But you know what I'm saying? Feeling insecure about, you know, you don't make six figures yet. You're working towards it, but you don't make it yet. So you feel like, oh no, I can't do anything. No girl's gonna like me because of this, because of that. Like, that's not the case, right? So what she's saying is absolutely true. If the girl likes you, very little matters. If she just likes you, she likes you. You can have no car, no, you know what I'm saying, not have your own place, whatever it is. And if you're dealing with a girl that sees you as him for whatever reason, nothing matters, right? So I just wanted to touch on that. I just wanted to talk about that. I thought it was an interesting video, interesting topic to hit. So yeah, that's the video for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Drop some more topics in the comment section. I got my coaching calls in the description box, Instagram in the description box, and y'all know what it is. It's mind over matter, Marv over matter. Let's get it.